What's going on, Jerome's? It's time to reveal our big board, which everyone is going to hate anyway, but what can you do? Now, we had thought about, well, maybe we can do this like a gender reveal, and oh, it's a girl, and then we start a forest fire, or I don't know, like we're going to call it the Rick D's weekly top 40, except I think that's a data reference that no one gets. I'm old, but no need to stand on ceremony. Mr. Wayne. So let's go. 1 through 40, go. Number 1. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, boring, I know, but he's been QB1 for the last 3 years. Don't overthink it. Duval's going to get themselves a hell of a player. Number 2, so couple things. This is a big board of ranking players in a vacuum. This is not draft needs. This is not inserting quarterback tax. This is not predicting how they're going to come off the board. This is our rankings of the players. And you see grade up there. So 9 to 10 is going to be your first round pick. 8 to 9 is going to be your second round pick, etc. We don't get too mussy or fussy about it. So there you go. Number 2. Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is absolutely different, man. He is the unicorn, and the more I think about it, the more I just love Kyle Pitts. And it would be a pipe dream for the Vikings to somehow get him. I think it's very unlikely that he gets out of the top 7. But 6'6", 246, ran a 4.44, 40, 4.44, 43 catches, 770 yards receiving, 12 touchdowns last year. Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Number 3. Penei Sewell, no matter what. 9.82 grade here, generational upside, physically large, physically strong, physically quick, and he's not even in his final form yet. Like, there's still a lot of technical refinements that Penei Sewell needs to address, but he has a chance to be the Anthony Munoz of this generation. Next up, number 4. And ironically, he should and could go to the Bengals at 5. Number 4, Jamar Chase, wide receiver from LSU. He is the wide receiver 1 in this class. And I love the sawed-off Larry Fitzgerald comparison because he's tough. He will physically fight you for the ball. But, of course, he's a lot faster and quicker than Larry Fitzgerald ever was. But he's just a rough-and-tumble dude. I absolutely love Jamar Chase, even though it's kind of crazy. In 2019, he put up 20 catches, 20 touchdown catches. Wasn't even the best wide receiver on his team. Face. Number 5, Zach Wilson. Yeah, so our love affair of Zach Wilson is well documented going back to the season. Arm talent for days, mobility, pocket awareness as well. Betting on absolutely huge upside. You like the moxie as well. I actually like that he's a little cocky. You know, even though he portrays himself as super humble, but there's just a little bit like, I can do this. I get this thing done. I do like that. But there are some questions about injuries. Also, was he a one-hit wonder? We'll see. Number 6. Devontae Smith. I understand Devontae Smith. Oh, what about his frame? Oh, he plays a 170. I don't care. It's not like they play two-hand touch in the SEC West, man. Yards after catch monster. Great in the return game as well. Won the Heisman for a reason. You realize how difficult it is for a wide receiver to win the Heisman when he's had the same quarterback all year? Whew. That's how good he was last season. Number 7. Micah Parsons. Yeah. Character red flags. You can set that aside. If you check that box, you're good to go. Micah Parsons, heat-seeking missile, nose for the ball, insane closing speed. I guess the only drawback is coverage-wise. He's whatever, but that saying is like, oh, Lawrence Taylor couldn't drop into coverage. Don't care. Do not care at all. 8. Christian Darrisaw. He's my guy. I get it's controversial having Darrisaw ahead of Slater, but size, agility, length, cleanest pass sets in the draft, can block zone and man in the run game. So, yeah, I mean, if the Vikings are given the opportunity to draft Christian Darrisaw, just sprint up there with the card. Number 9. Patrick Surtain II, cornerback 1 in this class. Size, gets after it. And also, Nick Saban's had a great track record with cornerbacks, even though Scott the player, not the helmet. He is the cornerback 1 with Farley having back issues, 89.9 PFF grade last year. Absolutely a stud. Number 10, Rashawn Slater. So he's behind Darrisaw, but he ain't that far. Uber athletic left tackle prospect, has worked some on the inside during his 2020 opt-out. Lacking length but not heart, can absolutely get after it. Just watch his tape against Chase Young, the number 2 overall pick in 2020 from 2019. So Slater, we've said this about Slater. Like, if he was like his dad, if he was 6'5", 6'6", with long arms, he would be the first offensive lineman taken, but he's 6'3". It is what it is. But he's a guy that I would play at left tackle wherever he lands up. Number 11, Jalen Waddle. Speed, for days. I got the need for speed as well as a great return prowess. If he hadn't gotten hurt, I don't think that Devontae Smith blooms as much as he does, and I think that Waddle would be up there as wide receiver 2. Now, he still may be the second wide receiver taken because I think that coming into the season, his draft profile was higher than Devontae Smith, and you're still betting on potential, betting on that upside. Number 12. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. A little bit controversial since this is pretty high, but pound for pound, the toughest player in the draft. He is the future of sub-package football. Despite his size, he's only 6'1", 216. He can absolutely bring the hammer in the run game. He plays like a strong safety. He can cover like a free safety, and he hits like a linebacker. I just love Joke. I do. 13. So got J.C. Horn, cornerback coming out of South Carolina. He's a cornerback 2. Got the length and alpha attitude. Now, he could be the first cornerback off the board because a team may come down to is like, all right, Surtain or J.C. Horn or Farley if we want to take a chance on medicals and ultimately go with J.C. Horn. That's how much his draft profile has been helped as of late. Number 14, QB3. Trey Lance, no pants for Trey Lance. And this is all betting on the come. This is all betting on future. Because I understand big arm, big mobility, but big time gamble. Small school, 1 year wonder, college style offense. What's he going to be? And I think Trey Lance will benefit from sitting for a year, getting acclimated to the NFL game. But if he reaches his potential, I think that he could be a perennial Pro Bowl quarterback. Next up, 15. Going guard. Elijah Vera Tucker, AVT, 9.19 grade, interior offensive lineman 1, great anchor, underrated athlete. I think his testing put away a lot of concerns. The best week 1 starting guard in this class, given that Wyatt Davis and Dickerson have health issues. So if the Vikings, if it comes down to it, they stick and pick and take AVT at 14, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Depends on who's still on board. 16. So Caleb Farley takes a draft day tumble. Doesn't fall too far because he might be the best athlete in the draft, a position, regardless of position. Back issues could cost him, but I think that a team will gamble on him. And if his back issues are good to go, they're going to get insane value. Plus, you have this chippy, motivated dude who's just ready to burn the league down. I love Caleb Farley. 17. Speaking of guys who want to burn everything down, Tevin Jenkins. So Tevin Jenkins blocks like Michael Orr in the Blind Side movie. He's going to throw dudes out of the club. He's an absolute mean streak bouncer at right tackle, and I really love me some Tevin Jenkins. Next up, so you got 18, Quiddipe coming out of Michigan. Physical, freak, upside guy, size, speed, versatility, great character as well. A couple medical issues, but yeah, he can absolutely be that dude if everything is good to go. Edge rusher 1 for us. Number 19, you got Christian Barmore coming out of Alabama. Now, Barmore's draft stock is sort of gone downhill lately, which I don't really understand. And yes, redshirt sophomore, he's just coming into the type of player that he could be. But the way that he took over both of those college football playoff games is just amazing. And a guy who can set the tone from inside, can get that quick interior pressure, can shut down the run. I think that has a lot of value in this league. And even though it's a down defensive interior class, the fault of Christian Barmore, that's for sure. 20. First safety off the board, Trevin Moehrig coming out of TCU. Safety 1 in this draft, can play center field, and he hits 51.7 quarterback rating when thrown at last year. Next up, 21, Azeez Ojulari. Ooh, I love Aziz. Redshirt sophomore, baby Von Miller, 37 pressures, 9.5 sacks in 2020. Plus, you saw how he just absolutely took over the Peach Bowl after James Hudson went out. He got after my guy, Desmond Ridder. Look at how they massacred my guy. It's rough. 22. Cornerback 4. Greg Newsome II. Coming on Northwestern. Go Wildcats. Chi-Town, what up? Alpha, chippy, not scared. 7 pass breakups and a pick in 2020 when teams were dumb enough to throw it on. Plus, you saw Big Ten title game. After Newsome went out with injury, Ohio State and Chris Olave all of a sudden got things going. Justin Fields started opening up a little bit. That's how good Greg Newsome is. He single-handedly shut down one of the best offenses in college football last year. And then, 23, Jalen Phillips. Now, a little bit controversial because it's relatively low. I think Jalen Phillips has definitely picked up some steam as of late, but would be edge 1 in this class if not for health issues. You can't really mess around with concussions, man. 42 pressures, 8 sacks, 86.6 PFF grade in 2020. Transferred in from UCLA, and if he can stay healthy, he has a chance to be a Pro Bowl player. He absolutely has a chance to be the best edge rusher from this class. 24. Najee Harris. Going with the running backs, baby. And I understand running backs are just sort of going by the way of the dinosaur. I don't care. He can do it all. I mean, he's 6'2", 230, has size, has power, has quickness, is a great receiver as well. 1,891 yards from scrimmage and 30 touchdowns. 24 on the ground, 6 receiving. And he's like a yoked up Le'Veon Bell. I love Najee Harris, man. He's a really good player. Next up, 25. Ooh, QB4, Justin Fields coming off the board. The Ohio State University. Can't deny what he accomplished at Ohio State. Athleticism, big arm as well. Wowed at both of his pro days. You're worried about what happens when you get heat on him. You look at early in the Northwestern game, you look at the Indiana game, but then you put on the Clemson tape, and that's his upside. That's the ceiling that he can reach. And I think Justin Fields would benefit from landing in a place like Atlanta, where he can sit for a year, maybe 2, and then just get his feet under him and then become an absolute star in this league. 26, Rashad Bateman, wide receiver 4, first guy with the second round grade. So we got 25 first round grades coming out. But Bateman, size, strength, speed on the outside. I think he answered a lot of speed questions at his pro day. 60 catches, 1,219 yards receiving, 11 touchdowns, 2019, opposite Tyler Johnson. Super Bowl champion, Tyler Johnson, pride of Minneapolis North. What's going on? 27, wide receiver Kadarius Toney, wide receiver 5 in this class. He is the joystick player. He is a running back. He's a wide receiver. He's a return man. And 1,145 yards from scrimmage last year, including 11 touchdowns, and was the special teams player of the year for the SEC. He's just that guy. He's just really, really fun. I would hate if Kadarius Toney ends up with the Packers or New Orleans. Please no. Please don't. Next up, 28. One of my favorites, Landon Dickerson. Got size, got nastiness, leadership, versatility, does have some health issues towards ACL, but can block all schemes and is going to be good to go. Like, he is the type of guy that you love having in your organization. He keeps the guys loose, great locker room presence, and just gets it done on the field. I love it. Also, he blocked for Dalvin Cook in 2016 at Florida State. 29. Levi Onwuzurike coming out of Washington was a 2020 opt-out, but he has the quickest first step in college football on the defensive line. Like, he plays undersized, maybe a sub-package player for the rest of his career. I don't care. Like, you want a guy like Onwuzurike on your team. Great leadership, just a guy who's going to get after it from the edge, from 3-tech, from 1-tech, from 5-tech, all the techs. All the techs is Levi Onwuzurike. Number 30, Mac Jones, quarterback 5, second round grade on Mac Jones, the ultimate game manager, but surround him with talent and see how he can work. Where he was obviously the man who stirred the drink for Bama last year, undefeated national title. But if he doesn't have one of the best offensive lines in college football, if he doesn't have one of the best skill position players in all college football, what can you do? Like, if he ends up on a bad team, is Mac Jones the type of guy at this stage of his career who can ascend, who can raise up a team's profile? I don't know, but him landing in a great spot like New England would make a lot of sense, where he can sit behind Cam Newton for a year, and then eventually he can become that guy who leads a team where you win because of, as opposed to winning with. 31, Boogie Basham, where Carlos Basham Jr. out of Wake Forest, I feel like his draft stock has taken a hit as of late. I don't really understand it because I really love him. Size to set the edge against the run, power rusher, 60 pressures, 11 sacks in 2019. It may be a case of sort of out of sight, out of mind with Wake Forest, but what can you do? I really love Boogie Basham. If you can get him at the top of the second round, I think that's a great value. 32, Dylan Raduns, the pride of NDSU, offensive tackle 5 in this class. A great bounce in the feet, supreme athlete, big jump in competition coming from NDSU. And it's tough to parse out, hey, is he a great left tackle because he blocked for an athletic quarterback, or is he a great left tackle? All right, that's always the chicken or the egg issue. But has that length. I think he would benefit from potentially sitting for a year, adding some size, or at least getting a good look in training camp and offseason program. 33, Gregory Rousseau. Who's had the weirdest draft trajectory besides Rousseau? Because he started off like he was a surefire top 12 pick, and I feel like he's fell out of favor. We've had our questions about Rousseau this entire draft process, but 15.5 sacks in 2019 cannot be denied. Has length, concerned about bend. So I don't think that he's a traditional edge rusher. I think that he's a guy a lot like Onwuzurike. He's going to have to play all along the defensive line, and maybe never a starter on paper, but a high-end rotational dude that you play at edge, you play at 1-tech on passing downs, you play at 3-tech. So, yeah, he's going to be an asset, but If you want him to come in and be a traditional hand in the dirt edge rusher, have one side and just never move, I don't know if that's going to be his best usage. 34, Pat Freiermuth. So lost in the wake of Kyle Pitts just completely destroying this draft lake. Pat Freiermuth is a bad dude, man. He's tough. The overlooked tight end, Baby Gronk, 43 catches, 507 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns in 2019. Can block, can catch, can just get after it. And he's going to make some team at the top of the second round extremely happy. 35, Wyatt Davis. No matter what. Interior offensive line 3, great anchor and movement skills. Would be OG1 if not for the various knee injuries that he had throughout the season. The one they had lingering all year, and then the one he suffered in the championship game against Alabama. And then, of course, you saw Christian Barmore completely take over after Wyatt Davis went out. 36, Travis Etienne has that phone booth quickness and can be a game breaker where he lands. 37, Zaven Collins, linebacker 3 in this class behind Micah Parsons and Joke, where he's got Anthony Barr's size, he's got Eric Kendricks' coverage skills. There's some questions. He can certainly be better at the point of attack, plus talking about level competition, but he's a stud. He is an absolute stud. 38 special. Sam Cosman coming out of Texas. Pew, pew. Another uber athlete, basketball type player playing left tackle, 90.7 PFF pass blocking grade in 2020. And if the Vikings, they have a type. Look at Ezra Cleveland, look at Brian O'Neill. And if they pick up a Radunz or Samuel Cosmi, if they trade down the first round or trade up in the second round, that would make sense. 39, Richie Grant, safety 2 in this class. Just slightly edging out Javon Holland. I can already people yelling and being mad, but Richie Grant is a stud, man. He's that dude. Game changer on the back end. 10 career interceptions, 17 passes broken out. Plus, I think he's underrated as a hitter as well. Finally, 40, Jason Away. Just makes into the Rick D's weekly top 40. Coming out of Penn State, physical freak. Has all the metrics. Is Daniil Hunter in waiting, but hasn't quite put it together production-wise. But has been a guy with a very high pressure rate when getting after it. Just hasn't gotten the puck luck with sacks. But yeah, would be a really nice player at the top of the second round. So that's it. That is our top 40 big board. Shred it to pieces. Let us know where we're idiots. Let us know where we're wrong. It's always in good fun, of course, because this is the most subjective, objective, subjective, whatever. Mock drafts and big boards are like sphincters. Everyone's got one and they all stink. You guys are the best. Hey, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work, post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.